Cracking toast, Gromit.
Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
And I am Will Leggetter.
Anybody who's listened to any of the episodes we've recorded since the Zoom has added the
recording
meeting, has, but then it's not actually in the recording.
No.
And so I sort of, you know, when that thing
you get louder every time. We're like, it sounds like we're shouting over it.
I get louder, and it's that thing of where that sounds like Stefan. It's that thing where you got, but it's that thing of, you know, when they do the sound things and like people are talking in your ears, but you've got to say it back. And so hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers. You know, it's slightly affected. Speaking of being slightly affected, Will. Well, your Aardman celebration, we're not doing it in chronological order. We're doing it, well, we're not doing it in any order, apart from our second week of our fortnight. Americans don't say fortnight, by the way. I found that out when I was in America.
Did they say?
Two weeks. 2 weeks. I was like, what are we going to say? It will only be a fortnight. What is fortnight? Like the game? No, 2 weeks. And also down south and in America, they don't say while. You know, like, oh, how long are you working? Oh, I'm working 4 while 9.
Oh no, this is just a Yorkshire thing I've discovered.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone brings me up on it at uni. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I got uni today. Now my 5. You mean 9 till 5? 9 to working 9
while 5.
Yeah, not got the same ring. No, it's just a Yorkshireism. It's wild.
Stumble out of bed.
Stumble out of bed.
I quite enjoyed 9 to 5. Me and the family went to watch it at the Savoy Theatre with Brian Connolly. My mum fell asleep in the first act. My dad does not like. My dad likes very few musicals. And but go on.
Did you get the little video of Dolly at the beginning going?
Well, oh yeah, going. Hi everybody. Well, and because that was new for this London production, and now the touring production. Because in the American production, they just said it was like, "Hello, I'm Alison Janney," or whatever, because she was in the Broadway. She's like, well, she didn't obviously say I'm Alison Janney. She was like, "I'm the Alison Janney character, and I'm blah blah blah." But then they made Dolly do that, and so there was a great joke where the Dolly Parton character from the film comes out, and she's still very well endowed, shall we say. She's got big hair, she's got the southern accent, and she goes, "Now this is Peggy, and well, you know who Peggy is meant to be." And it was, I got a huge laugh from me, and me and my sister were very, very buzzy. Me and my sister, when we get together, then and again, like in Monsters Inc. laugh floor, I legitimately annoyed my mum to the point where she told me to stop talking, because it was always like, let's scream, monsters, scream, and I go, like doing the Jimmy Carroll laugh, and she goes, "Stop it, tell her to stop." And what was the other one? The most famous one. Okay, right. This is too good a tangent not to do. And this is on a podcast where we've got 1 hour and 40 to talk about 4 short films. But this is too good to not mention. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. So originally I was supposed to maybe go to Leeds Uni, which would have saved my relationship, but wouldn't have gotten me where I am today. Oh, it's wonderful to discuss. But we went to the wrong seminar. So we didn't go to the drama seminar, the drama 3-year course seminar. We went to drama in the real life seminar. And this guy came out, Dr. Scott Palmer. I remember the name. Dr. Scott Palmer. And he had a book that he was promoting. And he was talking all about doing theatre in the real world. And dead silence. And I was literally gagging myself with my scarf to not laugh. And he kept talking. He was like, you know, and there was this one where he basically put a bunch of lights outside of Wetherspoons in York, and you could move around in the lights. So he goes, and just look at this woman, and just this video of this beast woman dancing about with this little light following her. And then the best part was overnight, they did in the middle of Leeds city centre, they made a little farm in like the city centre. And the minute where I spat my scarf out and stopped laughing was, and it just makes you wonder, where does food come from? and I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I legitimately feel bad for everybody else in that theatre. I'm sorry, but no, theatre can be anywhere. Oh, that was it. He said, theatre can be everywhere. It can be in a library. It can be in a hall. It can be at the top of Mount Everest. Wonderful, Dr. Scott Palmer. Will, Aardman Animation starts with Nick Park.
It does.
With a little short film called A Grand Day Out from 1989, which is the first outing of who, Will?
It's Wallace and his little dog, Gromit.
Join the ultimate human canine team as they blast off in a homemade rocket to see if the moon is really made of cheese. Well, as Wallace tells us very early on, everybody knows that the moon is made of cheese. Don't know about that. Well, Wallace and Gromit for you, what's your relationship with Wallace and Gromit? Don't say I'm their third.
I've grown up with it all. I think as every British child and a child across the world, because it's so global now, has done, and it's great. It's usually on. It's one of those things that's always on at Christmas. They're always on BBC around Christmas time, like The Wizard of Oz. That's always on Christmas Day. Or
in my Blu-ray collection, just put it on all the time. Goodbye. I think I mentioned that on the last episode about how you know when you're in a group of musical theatre students because everyone was in a production of an Amtrak production of Wizard of Oz, and if I bust out there goodbye, then they all go, oh yeah, funny, it's funny. You're out of the woods, you're out of the woods. Legitimately, I think at this point, this is going to be the most stupid thing I ever say. I think Wizard of Oz is underrated. I know it sounds stupid, but I do think when it comes, and I think Andrew Lloyd Webber's to blame, is that when you go back, because I think it's just become a bit of a novelty and everybody's seen it 100 times, and so you forget just how excellent it really is.
It's great.
Every song's wonderful. Even the Jitterbug.
Oh, well, speaking of the Jitterbug, I don't know if I've done this story before, but I was in, it must have been 2014-ish. I was in, or 2015 maybe, I was in a production of The Wizard of Oz in Wakefield, and we had our little costume check, and I was in the Jitterbug, obviously, and I was, the costume designer was like, I'm going to put you in these really tight red flares. Yeah, all right. So I did my fitting. I thought, oh, these are a bit tight, but I can still dance in them. So I was like, yeah, they're fine. I don't want to put you through the hassle of having to restitch it because you've got plenty of costumes to do. I'll dance in those. We get to the dress run, and I realised just how tight they were. It was full shaping around that
Bowie in Labyrinth.
And because I was part of and I had to dance with small children.
Incredible piece of information you want to pick up.
It was very embarrassing, and I would just all the way through mouthing the words "help me" to the director, and afterwards she beckoned me over. She was like, "We're gonna have to get you some budgie smugglers out for the show." And every night of the show, I got rapturous wolf whistles, and it was great.
How old were you?
14.
Who were these wolf whistles from?
Oh, grannies. Some for the grannies.
I was in a production of Annie. Well, no, I actually saw your production of Annie before I ever met you.
Yeah, that was the first time we met. I was a bellboy.
I was in Annie, and I was Rooster. Who are you? No, I'm kidding. And and I was wearing braces, and they were and my braces kept popping off. So the next day, I wore Little Isaac's braces, and you can tell from the name he was small. So and they were very, very tight. And my mum came to see it on the Saturday night, and I said, "Oh, what did you think? What did you think? Oh, what did you think?" Because it was the first time I'd done a big song, the first time I'd done a big dance. What did you think? What did you think, Mum? What did you think? She said, "Them braces didn't leave much to the imagination for the front row." I said, "Oh, right." Oh. A grand day out, just like I had when I went to see you in Annie.
It was a better when you came. Did you come to see our Ghost or sister? It was sister actually who came to see our production of.
No, I didn't, but I heard of. I heard of the production of Sister Act. Yes.
We'd like to thank you, Herbert.
Oh, what a great song. Hooverville, great track. You know what annoys me is that the Annie soundtrack, there's not an Annie soundtrack on Spotify of the film.
Oh.
The 1982 film, that's another one where I legitimately think that's one of the greatest movie musicals of all time. I think it's impeccably well made. I think Finney and Ryan King, rest in peace, Carol Burnett and little Annie are all sensational. And not Jeffrey Palmer, that's the voice of Paddington.
No, Jeffrey Palmer is it was something the other day. Geoffrey. Oh, it might be the voice of Paddington.
Was it the voice of Paddington, Will?
Possibly.
Jeffrey Holder, that's it. Who we all know from his two best roles as Punjab in Annie and the guy from Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex, but were too afraid to ask, who has the best cut in the movie where it cuts to him and he goes, "An aphrodisiac." And also he's in the, I think, again, underrated movie at this point, Boomerang, the Eddie Murphy comedy. But you might know him best, Will, as Baron Samedi from Live and Let Die. And Bernadette Peters, let's never forget Bernadette Peters. And let's give an actual name to Annie, Eileen Quinn. I will be doing Annie. I love Annie. I think in our future, I want to do musicals month. To say that we love musicals so much, yeah. I don't think we've given a West Side Story and that's it.
I think it's because we prefer stage musicals to movie ones, and we're a bit limited to what we can talk about with the movie musicals on offer.
Oh no, I think there's a good. I think we could carve out, even if it is just what we're going to do for Halloween, which spoilers everybody for our audience. For Halloween, I've got a block of 8 episodes that will come out over the course of October. 8 episodes, and we're going to have 8 guests come on, and they get to pick their horror movies. And then the next Halloween after that, I get to pick, because undoubtedly the 8 movies will not include Halloween or any of the ones I actually want to do. So this is the problem with letting people choose.
So that's why I'm leaving.
But you get to choose now, Will. A grand day out.
Finally get to choose.
Is there, I mean, for you, I mean, we'll talk rankings.
Yeah.
Is there a definitive ranking for you of these Wallace and Gromit shorts?
I think I will decide my ranking after discussing all of them with you. But I think currently it's in 2 layers. I think Grand Day Out and Matter of Loaf and Death are on level 2, and the other 2 are on level 1. And I'm not sure how to order that yet.
Yeah, I'll give you that. No, actually, I don't think I will give you that. I don't know. Grand Day Out is its own artifact. We're starting with a Grand Day Out. A Grand Day Out is its own artifact. It's obviously the animation is that little bit more janky. That's not to say that it's not beautiful and very, very, very well done.
I love the craft. It's it was Nick Park did it for he was studying at Chef Hallam University, or Polytechnic as it was back then, and this was his sort of student piece.
For those of you, I don't know if are you at Sheffield Hallam University? You're at University of Sheffield.
I was asked this by my uncle the other day, and I was terribly offended. He was
Is
like,
this a University of Leeds Beckett scenario?
worse.
Oh.
I'd say this is, yeah. University of Sheffield is where I am at, and that's at the top of the hill.
And there are so many metaphors that entails. Yes, this was part of a thesis, and then it took over 6 years to make 25 measly minutes. That sounds rude. Measly, Gromit. Yes, I think it's a delightful little artifact. I think that's how we can refer to it.
Yes.
I certainly enjoy the first half more than what the fuck is Dishwasher Man. Not a fan of Dishwasher Man. I'm a fan of the beautiful craft, and I'm a fan of the animation and all the little dryness and the oddities of the life of Wallace and Gromit and their little relationship. And it brings us into the world rather effortlessly, I think. Obviously these have become staples of British culture, and we know every little thing from the crackers to the Wensleydale to every single little detail of them, and the inventions and the like. But I think in this short film, we forget just how it started and how.
That was an excellent piece of speaking, Tom.
Thank you. I pride myself on it. You say something now, Will.
Cheese, Gromit.
There we go. Knew that one was coming. Something of that quality I knew was coming. Now, I've actually got a few fun facts about A Grand Day Out. The creators made Wallace say Wensleydale because it made his face look nice and toothy.
Yes, I that came up on a TikTok for me this morning, so it must have got my algorithm. TikTok. Did you know that in Wallace and Gromit, they made him say no? It was 10
facts about Wallace and Gromit.
At the time of making it, the Wensleydale factory was bankrupt, and this saved it. It was brilliant.
Nick Park loosely based Professor Wallace on his own father, who was an incurable tinkerer. Okay. I've never heard him referred to as Professor Wallace. I know, of course, he is technically a professor, and he invents things, but
he's not Professor. Oh, he must do. He must have a doctorate in something
before he got thrown out for bestiality. Gromit was actually supposed to be a cat. Thank God they changed that.
Oh,
Jesus.
Would not have enjoyed that.
And he was also going to be talking, voiced by Peter Hawkins, who is uncredited as the voice of Gromit in this first short. And then, of course, they found out very early on that just the little movements of the eyes. I'm a big fan of Gromit. I think Gromit over Wallace any day of the week. I think.
Oh yeah. Not to say that we don't like Wallace.
Yeah, I think after four short films, Wallace grows a bit tedious. I'll be honest.
Well, he's progressively got more stupid as well.
Yeah,
all of his inventions have banged him on the head a bit too much. Because in this first one, he's building a rocket. He's off, and then he gets just a bit daft. Which is nothing wrong with that. But Gromit stays the sort of audience surrogates all the way through. Oh, it's very nice.
This film took over 6 years to make, almost all of it single-handedly done by Nick Park himself. And as you just said, it was his graduation project from the National Film and Television School. Nick Park offered Peter Sallis £50 to voice Wallace, and his acceptance to record the part greatly surprised the young animator. Sir Nicholas Wilston Park wanted Wallace to have a Lancastrian accent like himself, but Sir Peter John Sallis could only do a Yorkshire voice. Inspired by how Sallis drew out the word cheese, Park chose to give Wallace large cheeks. When Park called Sallis 6 years later to explain he had completed the film, Sallis swore in surprise. We all know that you're a big fan of One Foot in the Grave. Last of the Summer Wine, sorry. I can tell that just by looking at you.
I love it. I've been to the Home Firth Cafe many times.
Yes. I was going to say this the other day. I think I've realised, not in the case of Last of the Summer Wine, when it comes to British versus American comedy, because I think I've mentioned this, I don't know if it's on an episode that's coming or whatever. I've recently bought all of Cheers, and I'm watching about 3 a night, and they are legitimately excellent. They are really, really, really good. And I think when it comes down to, and it's not to say that it's not to say that there's a lot of filler in these episodes. There's not, and there's lots and lots of great writing, and none of them are ever boring. But I think there's a big difference between the 6-episode perfect English miniseries, like Your Fawlty Towers. I know that's not 6 episodes. Don't comment. And the Blackadder's.
Yes.
Again, whatever. Anyway, where it feels like perfect craft and 6 perfect episodes rather than 20 rather good episodes. And so I feel it kind of reminds me of what you were talking about, Will, with your terrible take that you prefer The Office US, in that I'm sure lots of people nowadays prefer The Office US because it's a lot easier to relax and turn your brain off and watch a load of watch a lot of pretty good stuff than watch 6 excellent things and go, oh no, those are excellent. Like if you miss 3 minutes in a Blackadder episode, you're scuppered.
Yep.
Whereas in a lot of American serialized shows, the first 15 minutes, lots of nice little jokes and lines, but it's all set up. And not in a Fawlty Towers way, where it's a perfect farce. Gromit the Beagle Dog was named after the word grommets, because Nick Park's brother, an electrician, often mentioned them, and Nick liked the sound of the word.
There you go.
So yes, basically in 1985, he scored a job at Aardman Animations, and the film was finished around other projects. Most notably, what was the big project that got Aardman on its way? It was a music video.
Oh, all right, Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer indeed, yes. Which brings us on to what you were just mentioning, Creature Comforts. Although nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film, it lost to what?
What year?
You know the animated shorts, Will, from 89.
Sure do. 89 at Tarzan.
Shorts.
Oh, shorts. Oh, I have no idea.
And Tarzan didn't come out in 89. It lost to the pilot episode of Creature Comforts, which was sent in to the Academy as a short film. Just found a little bit of prawn cracker on the floor.
Oh, yummy.
Prawn cracker, Gromit. What? Are you saying that? Don't like that. Are you trying to come for my? All right, you do yours. You do yours. Go.
I'm not. I wasn't even. No. I'm not going to succumb to your mockery. You've already made fun of my love of the US Office, and I've never badmouthed the UK whenever.
You have. You've been like, oh no, it's bad. It's sad. It's sad. It's like, why would it's not comedy? That's what you do. You try to phrase it like it's a witty, like it's a good take. You're like, I don't think the UK Office is a comedy, but it obviously is. It's just a very dark comedy. You're never going to beat the guy ringing him up at the pub quiz who works at the care home for his dad. And then he's like, yeah, no, he's having a bad night. All right. Do you remember what Bananaramas? I just one more thing. Do you remember what? You're not going to beat it. You're not going to beat.
Yeah.
Spock wasn't a Vulcan. He was a half-breed, Vulcan, and human. So there's that. There's some fun facts about A Grand Day Out. Yes, no, I have to say, A Grand Day Out, although beautifully animated and showing us where we're going in the world of Wallace and Gromit, not the best I've ever seen.
It still feels that the characters haven't yet been defined.
Hmm.
There you go.
But I would then say the way that Wallace gets defined is something I'm not actually a fan of.
I think Wallace is at his best during the feature film, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
In the feature film, Deliverance. Diddly-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. So we've got a guy at the pub who knows I run the quiz, and so like every day he'll have, and he knows I love movies, so he'll have a movie question for me. And it was quite. Sorry,
you do.
I do the pub quiz then and again. We rotate anyway.
Oh, very good.
And he came up to me, and I misheard him, and I thought he said, "Which actor got raped and dirty before dying magnificently?" So I thought, okay, so it's somebody who's in The Magnificent Seven and Deliverance. And he went, "What do you mean Deliverance?" And I went, "Raped and dirty." And he went, "No, great and dirty." I was like, "Oh, then it's Charles Bronson." He goes, "Yeah, it is." Yeah, Charles Bronson for you there. Any other takes, Will, on A Grand Day Out? I really lost patience with the fucking dishwasher on the moon.
I do like his little skiing dream. I think that's cute. I think, one thing I've noticed this time around is Wallace pats Gromit on the head a bit too much. I don't know why. He's just always patting him on the head. I've written a question. What do you think, or as a child, what did you always think the cheese on the moon, from as depicted in this, tasted like? Because I've always, the way it squeaked when he cut it and the way it looked, I always imagined it tasted like Baby Bell.
Is this the time to say that I hate cheese?
I completely forgot that you hate cheese.
I hate cheese. You're not gonna get a good 10 minutes about brie out of me on this podcast.
Don't brie that guy. I camembert it.
What about when he calls it camembert? Oh, it tastes like camembert, Gromit.
He went to RADA, so I don't think he did.
Oh God. Although Grand Day Out didn't win Best Animated Short, you know what did win?
The Wrong Trousers.
The Wrong Trousers, which is our second in the first part of this Wallace and Gromit and Annie discussion episode, theatrical productions episode. They just love it when your childhood crush likes your Instagram photo of you and a dog, but you know that it'd be too weird for you to mend. No, you can take what she'll look like. They all look the same, Will. And then, but you know it'll. Yeah. You did like it. I mean, you did like it, Will. But that's not the person I was talking about. That's not the person I was talking about at all. Well, you can stalk my Instagram later.
Sorry. It's a great picture. It is a great picture.
It is a great picture. Everybody go on my Instagram. You know what they'll look like. It's the one who looks like Meg Ryan in '82. That's all that, like every woman I've ever fancied. Am I the only person? No. I'm obviously not. But I don't think when people say, because I always say, when people say, "Who are your crushes?" I'll say, yeah, obviously Margot Robbie, and obviously any number of attractive supermodels. And then I say, but this is the more interesting version. And then I go like Rebecca De Mornay in Risky Business. Well, Nicole Kidman actually has 3: Dead Calm, Eyes Wide Shut, and maybe even the others. Maybe even the others. A bit more of a demure Nicole.
Just go with it.
Come on, fucking hell, just go. And obviously Michelle Pfeiffer in tandem of maybe even Married to the
Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, when she takes the wig off. The Wrong Trousers did win Best Animated Short Animated. It's Nick Park and Peter Salus's favourite Wallace and Gromit short. Is it your favourite, Will?
Probably. I think my guess will be that this will probably, of the shorts, be my favourites.
Yeah, I think it's without a doubt mine. I great. I enjoy this one the most, but also the middle robbing of the diamond sequence. It's a bit dull and a bit long for me, and these are short films.
I would agree with you there.
And I don't think it's tense in any way or funny in any way. And obviously, it needs to be one of those things.
We're doing
I could watch Gromit listen to the old organ version of Tyre River Round the Old Oak Tree 10 times more than I could watch the diamond sequence. Yeah, but that's an overly negative note, Will. Why don't you kick us off on a positive one?
Well, I think it's probably got one of the greatest movie villains of all time, Feathers McGraw.
This feels a bit like the bounty hunter. What's his name?
Well, the bounty.
Oh my God, what's his Boba Fett?
Yeah,
this feels like Boba Fett, where like everybody was like, "I love Boba Fett, I love Boba Fett," but in actuality, in the original movies, he stands around in Empire Strikes Back, and then he just falls in a pit in Return of the Jedi. Yeah, because in this he's good, but yeah, he's all right. This was a very action-based shot.
Yeah,
I think the train sequence is undeniably excellent, and it may very well be the piece de resistance of all four of these shorts. It's been a long, long, long time since I've watched Curse of the Were Rabbit. I don't actually think I've watched it since it was in the cinema, which means that I haven't seen it because I can't remember it at all, because it was what, 2004?
Were Rabbit?
Yeah.
I was a young child. Yeah, that I've said this many times. I'll say it again. That was the only and first ever movie I had to be carried out crying because it was so scary.
I never had that as a kid. I just had a very early Woody Allen moment.
Well, you were brought up on movies that weren't meant for your demographic.
I would get DVDs, and I'd get a pile of DVDs, and then I'd bring them to my mum, and she'd have to like say, yes, you can buy that, and yes, you can buy that. And if it was one that I knew of and that I wanted, then like I could get away with a lot of like Boogie Nights, which I probably shouldn't have watched. She never knew what Boogie Nights was, so I got away with watching Boogie Nights. But she knew that American Psycho was bad. Like she remembered that, and so I couldn't watch American Psycho. But I remember bringing the DVD of Election to her because I'd heard a lot about it and I wanted to watch Matthew Broderick. And she said, "What's this? You can't have this." And the cover is just Reese Witherspoon with Matthew Broderick popping out of her mouth and going, "No, I just brought it over to show you how funny the DVD is." I was so embarrassed about wanting to watch. I think I'd watched About Schmidt. That was the sort of kid I was like. It's like I want to watch every Alexander Payne movie. But I had an early Woody Allen moment when we went to watch Monster House, and it was already 5 minutes in. And I said, I'm not going in. The movie started. And she said, "What are you doing that voice for?" And I said, the movie started. I'm not going to watch the movie. What is it, a house? Is it a monster? I have no idea. I believe I'll be watching Monster House again very soon, Will. You're gonna
that'll be one of my Halloween picks.
One of, you get one. Calm down, boyo. Calm down, boyo. Speaking of it being full of action, the filmmakers of Toy Story 1995 have indicated in interviews, sounds like a court transcript, that the moving van chase scene at the end of the film was partially inspired by the toy train chase scene from this film. The Pixar animators considered the toy train sequence to have a standard of action for which they had to surpass.
Oh, I don't think they did.
Ever?
Oh, not in Toy Story.
Oh, no, not in... It's pretty good. The sorry, I just remembered the meme. Nick Park had to use an orange filter on the end credit sequence so people could read them. He later regretted using that colour. It's a fun fact there. Have you listened to Sir Nick Park's The World of Wallace and Gromit podcast?
There's a podcast.
There's a podcast, yeah.
I've seen all of like the DVD bonuses and documentaries. I've never listened to the podcast.
Well, how many times does Wallace say Gromit in this film?
I would say 82.
29.
Oh, right.
Very off. Very off.
That is a fun fact.
It's a fun fact there. Why is The Wrong Trousers your favourite?
Oh, it's definitely this time around. It's just got loads of little fun stuff that I giggle at. I love some honourable mentions I've just got here. When Feathers first comes around to do the house viewing, and he goes into Gromit's room. Yeah. And he's just bouncing on the bed. It's great.
Bouncing on the bed, changing the music.
The whole dinner dates that Wallace and Feathers have, and the silhouette, and Gromit is looking at the photo. That's great. Yeah, I think it's just very fun. It's a cool idea as well. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I when it comes to probably my favorite little gag is him taking off the rubber glove.
Yeah.
And Wallace going, "Oh, it's you. It's you, you little penguin shit." I wanted to get more violent with the penguin. However, it is very satisfying when he gets trapped in that bottle. You dirty bastard.
I think the most satisfying bit for me is when he swallows half a slice of toast.
Wow. Sorry, I'm getting all hot and bothered here.
Wait till we get to the porridge gun.
That is pure filth. Yes, The Wrong Trousers is definitely the best. I think I watched this as a kid in like school. I think they showed this. These are like perfect for the most annoying thing in the world was, I mean, it was better than having class, but was when they would say, "We can watch a movie."
But then they stopped it.
And then you'd stop. And so like I've seen the first hour of fucking Super Size Me 3 times because it's the only DVD they had in the science store. To me, Super Size Me, there's nothing wrong with it. He's just having a great time. It's just like, oh, this is great. I love McDonald's. And then it ends. It's like Phoebe when she's never watched the end of Lassie and turns to endearment because her mum turned off all the films. It's like, oh, the movie with the mother and daughter. It's lovely.
Would you all like class? Because whenever on like rainy days or stuff like that, we'd always sometimes like before we got to like high school, in primary school when we watched films, we all sat on the floor in the hall and they wheeled the projector into the. Whenever they paused it, everyone would always go, "Ah!" Everyone, and then the teacher had to do the walk of shame, taking the projector away.
I managed to convince, because my DVD collection was growing, and I managed to convince my year 6 teacher on the final day, can I just bring in a bunch of 12 movies? Can I just bring in some movies? Because there was this whole thing about us wanting to watch Stand By Me, and I'd seen Stand By Me, and I was like, yeah, can we please watch Stand By Me, Mrs. Underwood? I love Stand By Me. It's a beautiful elegy of nostalgia and childhood. And basically Mrs. Underwood was like, if it was up to me, I would show every year 6 class Stand By Me. But obviously that's a 15, there's a couple of fucks.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Sampson, head teacher, would not allow it. She said, not allowed. She also wouldn't allow Bonkers by Dizzy Rascal to be our cleanup song because of what's the line? All I care about is sex and violence. Like, so then we had to listen to the Glee. We had to clean up to the Glee version of "Don't Stop Me Now." No, it was "Don't Stop Believing." Sorry, it was that first Yellow Glee album that everybody had, and then nobody bought another Glee album.
In comparison, I brought in for my year 6 class to watch the DVD of Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Good choice. Oh no, the moral of the story is I brought in Beowulf, the Robert Zemeckis Beowulf. And everybody literally, I was the king of the class. Everybody loved Beowulf. And to the extent that in the second half of the day, people had the choice of, okay, you can watch Beowulf again. Or they didn't want to watch another movie. They wanted to either watch Beowulf or play football. And we all know what I did.
Nowadays, they either want to watch Beowulf.
In my day, we watched Wrong Trousers. None of this Beowulf, because obviously Angelina Jolie is like naked and CGI in it, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's Angelina Jolie." Oh no, they didn't know her name, but they were like, "Oh," and then all the women were like, "Oh, Ray Winston." They weren't. Oh, Ray Winston. Is Beowulf good?
Yeah,
I want to rewatch Beowulf. We've only done. Oh no, we've done What Lies Beneath and Back to the Future.
We've done Polar Express, surely.
Oh, and Polar Express, fucking hell. There is more than enough Zemeckis movies for us to do another mini format.
We've done Death Becomes Her.
Oh yes, so we've done the 3 best Robert Zemeckis movies. Well, no, because the 4th best, as we all know, is 3, 2, 1. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Part 2. Okay.
No. Would you put Back to the Future 2 in the top 4?
Oh, I'm not sure. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Definitely not over Death Becomes Her.
No.
Definitely not over Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think you could maybe make the argument. Castaway's pretty great, though.
Castaway's great. Yeah.
Castaway's great. Beowulf's great.
I wouldn't put Forrest Gump in there.
No. But I would put half an hour segments of Forrest Gump up there that I watch with my family at 11:30 when there's nothing else on. And so we just Forrest Gump. All right, put Forrest Gump on. And so like Vietnam to shrimping to running, like that, I'm all in. And then
we had a moment like that the other day. It was we came back from our family. We met up with the other half of the family and went for some load of drinks down at the pub. Me and my dad walked in about 11 o'clock, very drunk, sat down and watched the second half of Superbad. It was great.
Oh, great choice. She is DTM. Oh God, that looks like the most cutest fun shit I've ever seen.
Sorry, I blacked your cock.
Sorry, I blacked your cock. Like Levin, we should be guiding your cock. She was a whore. My first wife, who was a whore, by the way. What a great movie. Okay, so we're looking for a tall African Jew. I can't be doing this. I got a veterinary exam. Oh God, I love Superbad. Oscar winner for best short film again. Oh no! I'm coming too early. Wow, Jesus Christ! Not even a metaphor. Anything else to say about The Wrong Trousers, Will, before we take, we're not going to take a break, but our audience will take a 2-day break.
Oh, they will. See ya. No, that's it. Have a nice 2-day break, audience.
Oh, cracking toast, Gromit.
Ba 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 ba.